Brilliant. I feel like we're getting a lot of you coming back, I can see. Thank you. Hi, Felix. Thank you. It's a moment for other people to come in. It still feels really laggy. I've just done a restart and everything. So I might have to just try and persist as is, and hopefully you can hear me and follow on along a bit later. It's so frustrating. Back on. Hello, the Harrisons. Fantastic. This new technology world is just not really my favourite thing, to be honest. I do love it, but I just wish it worked just a little bit better, really. Fantastic, guys. Nice to see you guys back. Okay, so I just showed the pictures from last week, which were amazing. There's definitely a lag still going on with the connection, but as long as you can hear me and you can see what I'm doing, hopefully you'll be able to follow along. So we've got loads of people back with us now. So the pictures from last week that I just showed were of lovely Leela and her sign of the times, which is amazing. We had Rory and Milo with representing rainbows and diggers. We had Bo with his sign of the times, which had a lovely rainbow on one side and some googly eyes on the other. And we had the Australian contingent with their signs of the times, which were little A-boards with family pictures on and chatting some stuff about loving homeschool life because you get to spend more time with your family, which is a good thing to record from this moment in time. Felix, love your little wave. Thank you. Okay, guys, so this week, what we are going to be making is we are going to be making these really cool hangers. We'll grab one here. So these hangers say at the top, what's love got to do with it? And the reason they say what's love got to do with it at the top, or love at the top, is because this week I was meant to be going to see a singer called Tina Turne with my mum, and it was a musical about her, and she sings this song which starts with what's love got to do with it. It's a very good song, and so basically I've just been thinking this week about Tina Turne and what's love got to do with it, and I've been kind of thinking about all of the things within what's happening right now, really, and kind of like the ways in which we're showing love for each other. So some of the things that I've put on mine are at the top here. I have put tea because my partner and I always make each other a nice cup of tea when we feel like we need a bit of pick-me-up, and that kind of shows love as well. I have put on this one here post, because I've really enjoyed sending and receiving post during this really strange time, and I feel like that's a good example of love. And on the bottom one here, I have put hugs, because I do believe that hugs are like one of the best way of showing love. And if you haven't, if you don't live with somebody else, which I think most people tuned in right now do, but people tuning in later might be living alone through this crisis, then perhaps you can invest in a no worries like I've got here. No Worries gives absolutely amazing hugs and just makes me feel really happy and loved. So these are little hangers to remind us that love's got kind of everything to do with it. We're feeling good. And here is a little picture of Tina Turne who sings that song, in case you didn't know what she looks like. So hang up my hanger here. I'll be showing you guys how to make one of those in just a sec. And the materials that we're going to need for today's session are a pencil, some cardboard, some scissors, some tape, some glue, some string, and some coloured papers. Now, when I'm talking about a pencil, it doesn't need to be a super sexy pencil. It can be any pencil you've got lying around. when we're talking about cardboard, we just need some small pieces of cardboard. So if you were to have a cereal box, that would be fine. If you've maybe got some cardboard packaging that you could just tear some bits off, that would be brilliant too. Or if you just want to use craft card and you've got excess of that, you can use that. That's great. Tape, any kind of tape, just I'm going to use masking tape, but you could use gaffer tape if you've got it lying around, electric tape, any kind of tape will do. Glue, I'm going to use a glue stick, but you could use a wet glue like a PVA if you want to. String, I've got some gold like thread string that I'm going to use, but you could use normal string, you could use thread from a sewing box, any kind of string like that. And coloured papers, I have got like a mix of recycled papers actually. So I've got some old bits of paper that have got painted bits on. Feels like our connection's got a bit better now, which is good. Thanks for bearing with, guys. So these are the papers that I've got that might inspire you to dig around your house for some recycled papers that you've got lying around. I've got some bits of an old painting that I always tear up and I used to collage with. I have got some sheets out of a magazine that I'm going to use. So when I say coloured papers, just some bits of recycled paper that you've got that you can put to good use. My loo roll actually gets wrapped in this lovely paper, so I've got some of this paper. And I've got some lovely shiny bits of card that I like to use. And just some recycled bits of paper out of my recycled drawer. So any kind of bits of different coloured papers that you've got lying around. So the materials list one more time before we go over to the task station to start making is a pencil, some pieces of cardboard. Yeah, Felix, PVA is absolutely perfect. Grab yourself a little spreader or a little bit of cardboard that you could tear off and use as a little spreader for your PVA. PVA will be absolutely fine. So the materials are a pencil, some pieces of cardboard or card, a pair of scissors, any kind of tape, any kind of glue, any kind of string or thread, and any selection of coloured papers or recycled papers. Oh, wrapping paper is a really good one for this if you've got any. I actually don't have any wrapping paper, so I couldn't use that in my lot. But if you've got wrapping paper, that would look super jazzy on our What's Love Got to Do With It hanger. So those are the materials we're going to be getting. If you can have a little scout for those now. And don't worry if you haven't got them all to hand. We're going to take this quite slowly, as per usual, so there will be moments for you to go and run and grab stuff. And as always, anything you don't finish in today's craft along, you can carry on casually crafting afterwards. But we try and move everyone at the same pace. And if you've got any special art materials or craft materials that you love using, grab those out as well, and you can just invent a way of putting those in. So for anyone who's just joining a craft along for the first time today, the whole idea of it is that you bring your materials to the screen and we craft along at the same time. A few more people have just joined, so I'm going to just show you the final thing that we're making today. It's a What's Love Got to Do With It hanger, and it's got some cool little hearts on that remind you that love has got kind of everything to do with it, really. And it's just demonstrating the ways in which we've been shown love during this tricky time and the ways in which we can show love to other people in our households and without and outside our households, perhaps through telephone calls, Skype calls, video calls, all of those kinds of things. There's loads of ways we can show love even when we can't hug people outside our households, but we can always hug people and objects inside our households. So I'm going to hang this up over here and I'm going to fly you over to the task station now. We're going to start making. So I'll pop No Worries over there, put my chair in. Let's go. Well, does feel like the lag has got a little bit better now. It's still a little bit there, but it feels like maybe it's got a bit better. Maybe everyone's just was having a 10 a.m. Skype or Zoom call over the internet this morning, and that might be why everything was feeling a little bit clogged up. So I've got my glasses ready on the making station. I have got my pencil ready. And the first thing we are going to do is we are going to make 2 heart templates out of paper. So these are going to be templates. They're not going to be the finished thing. So for this one, you need to get your most scrappiest bit of paper. So out of those papers that you grabbed from around the house, you could use a magazine sheet for this, or you could just use a bit of paper that had a drawing went wrong on it that you want to reuse. I'm going to grab my bit of recycled paper here. Mine came out of my printer, so it's got this printer thing on, and I don't really like that. I don't need it for anything. So I'm going to use this just so I can cut it up and use it as a template. So I'm going to pop my glasses on. So you need 1 piece of paper, and you're going to fold it in half. It doesn't matter how big your paper is, or how, I'd say, you know, it doesn't need to be, it needs to be largish, but not super small. But what I'm saying is it doesn't need to be an A4 piece of paper. It can just be a torn off bit of wrapping paper. You're going to fold your piece of paper over like this in half. So however your paper is, you're folding it in half like this. And then you're going to draw a heart shape. So I'm going to draw quite a big one and then quite a small one. So you're drawing 1/2. So I'll draw it on here. I've had to do it with a Sharpie so you can see. And then I'll hold it up. Here we go. So I've drawn this shape like this. And that's what you want to draw. It's like a big arc. Because when I cut this out in a minute, that's going to make a perfectly symmetrical heart. So I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm going to cut that out now. Holding the pieces down. Fantastic. And then I've got my heart shape, which is absolutely perfect. Hope you guys are getting on okay with your hearts. When you've done that one template, you could just put a T on it, which means template, which means you're not going to be using it for anything apart from for drawing around. That's going to be your template. You're going to do the same thing now on this, but a smaller one. So exactly the same. So perhaps you've still got a creased bit of your paper. You're going to draw the same thing again, but a bit smaller and cut it out again. So you're going to draw that shape, that arc. Do you see? Like this. So it's a bit smaller than my one before, and I'm going to cut that one out. So you've got a large one, and you'll have a small one too. So this is just scrap paper because these are just your templates. So anyone just joining us now, we are making these like hanging mobiles called What's Love Got to Do With It today, out of hearts. So we're making 2 heart templates out of recycled paper. So I've made a larger one here, and and now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to grab some of that cardboard that I asked you guys to source. So you might be using card, you might be using a cereal box card. I am going to be using a side of a cardboard box that I teared off. So I'm going to grab my bit of cardboard now, and I'm going to bring it over. Okay, so I've got my cardboard just like this. And you need enough of this to be able to get 3 hearts out of it. You're going to be doing 1 large heart and 2 smaller hearts. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to fold my cardboard out as much as I can, like this. And I'll use the Sharpie so that you can see what I'm doing, but you could just use your pencil for this bit, guys. So I'm going to draw around my heart template on the cardboard like this. So I'm drawing around the large one, the large heart template once. Okay. And now I'm going to draw, and I'm going to do a B for big on that now, a B for big. And now I'm going to draw around my small heart template. Now, as you can see, you can try and get these hearts in so you're making as much out of your space as possible. So I'm going to try and line mine up a little bit like that. So I'm going to draw around the small heart template now once. And I'm going to draw around it again a second time. Oh no. Just heard that the Harrisons are just getting the loading screen. They can't see anything. Is anyone else having this problem? How frustrating. Same here. You've just got the loading screen, so you can't actually see me. Oh no, it looks perfect for me for the first time in ages, which is well annoying. Oh man. We could try and see it from a different one. Wouldn't even know how to reload it because I'm going to lose you if I do that. One sec. Let me just see if I can get it to load another way. Oh. Aha, we're back. We're back. We're back. Fantastic, guys. Okay. Okay, awesome. That's great news. I'm glad we're all back. So, I'm not sure at what point you guys got cut off, but what we were doing is we were making two templates, a large heart and a small heart out of recycled paper. And then we are drawing around the big heart once and the small heart twice onto some cardboard. Fantastic, guys. Whew, phew, glad we're all back in the room. So we're going to be drawing around the big heart template once and then the small heart template twice. So I'm going to write an S for small. I'm going to try and find somewhere else to fit this other small template. My small heart template actually looked to be quite big in the end. So you know how it is, isn't it? Funny. So I'm going to draw around the large heart template once and the small heart template twice. Oh, I can't see that there. I'm coming off the edge here. So I've got two S's and one B for big. And I'm going to be cutting out these three hearts. So we're cutting out one large heart and two smaller hearts. Well done. So I like to cut out the section that I'm working on first. That's the easiest way for me. And then I'm going to cut it out. So the first part of this activity is quite a bit of cutting. Second part of this activity, quite a lot of sticking. And the third part of this activity is quite a lot of drawing or collaging or decorating in whatever way you like the most. So just as per usual, please do ask the help of an adult if you're doing this alone. Fantastic. So I'm cutting out, I've cut out one small heart now. I'm going to cut out another small heart. Makes a real crunchy sound, this, doesn't it? As always, if you want to pop some music on in the background, please go for it. YouTube won't allow me to do that, but you can always put your own crafting music on. I can very much suggest a bit of Tina Turner. She's great. Great singer to accompany to this activity too. So I've cut out my 2 small cardboard hearts now, and now I'm going to cut out my one large big one. Fantastic. Kind of not the worst shape to cut out, really, a heart. They're kind of a bit tricky, but they're not the worst. Not like a star when you've got loads of points. You can kind of get a good run on a heart. So for those people who may be just joining us right now, all we've done so far is we made 2 heart templates, a larger one and a smaller one out of recycled paper. We got some cardboard, and we drew around the larger heart, a big one, once and cut it out. We drew around the smaller heart templates twice, and we've cut those out now as well. So well done to parents who've got smaller children and are doing lots of cutting on their behalf. And well done to those older kids who are doing lots of cutting on your own, getting your hands all exercised. Well done. Fantastic. Aha. So now what we're going to do is we are going to utilise those bits of coloured paper or recycled paper that I asked you to find from around the house. So I'm going to grab my bits over now and see which bits I like to use. So I've got a nice little stash here of papers I found around the house. My loo roll comes wrapped in this nice paper, so I've got that. But I don't have wrapping paper. If you've got wrapping paper, that would be pretty awesome. I've got bits of this nice painted paper that are left over from different art projects. A little top tip, if you wanted to before the next lesson, you could even paint your own background papers by just having a nice play with some paints and then letting them dry, and you can use those to collage with in the future. And I've also got a magazine. And I've also just got some pieces of like yellow card and such like here too. So I'm going to move all of them out of the way and get one to start with, the one that appeals to me the most. And I think that is going to be a bit of this pattern paper that my loo roll's wrapped in. So I'm going to use a bit of this. So I am going to draw around one of my smaller hearts on this, I think. Yeah, I think I am. I'm going to draw around one of my smaller hearts. You use your pencil. I'm going to use a Sharpie so that you can see how this shows up. So you're going to put your cardboard heart now on one bit of paper, and you're going to draw around it. Twice, because both sides of your heart are going to be covered in this paper. So you're going to draw around your heart twice on your fancy paper, and then you're going to cut that out. Fantastic. How's it going for you guys? Hopefully you're all managing to follow this and it's not cutting out again. So we should each have 3 cardboard hearts. And now we've selected one of our cardboard hearts and one of our bits of paper, and we've drawn around the paper twice for that one heart. So this is my smaller heart. I'm going to start making little piles. So I've got one cardboard small heart over here. And now I've drawn around and cut around one piece of fancy paper. And I'm going to stick that on top so I know that that's ready to go. And I have drawn around another one here. So I'm going to cut that one out. I'm going to stick that one on top. And then I've got one set complete. Okay, pop that on there. So I've got one set complete, and now I've got another smaller heart. So I'm going to find some more paper to draw around for that smaller heart. For this one, I actually think I might even use some magazine paper if that's the right, or that's not quite big enough. I need a little bit of a bigger piece. I might get a nice sheet out of my magazine. Oh. What pictures are in here that would be quite cool to use? Oh, I quite like this. I do quite like this as one of my hearts, I think. Just look very cool. So I'm going to draw around that twice and cut it out. Again, you could use a pencil to draw around your hearts. You don't need to use a Sharpie like me. But I'm just going to do that so that you can see what I am doing. Okay. I'm going to draw around. How's everyone getting on with their cutting? It can be a little bit tricky, can't it, doing all of this cutting out? Okay, so I've cut around one of these hearts now. So I'm going to make a second pile. So I've got one pile here, which is complete and ready to go. And that is one cardboard heart and two pieces of paper. I've got another cardboard heart over here and one piece of patterned paper that I've drawn around and cut out. And I'm cutting out the second one now so that that set will be complete. Okay. Fabulous. And now I have got another set complete. So now I've just got my final big heart to draw around twice and cut out of another paper. And then that is all of our cutting done. So we're nearly there. We're nearly there with the cutting. So I'm going to use this fancy pink card actually for my top half, my big one. So I'm going to draw around that on the white side and then cut it out. Actually, might not have enough room to do two. My hearts are very large actually. I've gone for with this one, with the model one. I did quite small ones, but I've gone big today. So, final one. Okay, so draw around that one once. And draw around this one on the other side, maybe. So for those people just joining, we are making heart hangers. We are part way through. We started off by making, just drawing a heart on some scrap paper, a large one and a smaller one to use as our templates on scrap paper. And then we drew around the large heart template once onto cardboard and cut it out, and the smaller heart template twice onto the cardboard and cut it out. And now we are just finishing our cutting mission, hashtag cutting mission today, by making some panels that will go either side of our cardboard structure to hide it out, some decorative papers we have found around our houses. So I'm coming to the end of my cutting mission now. And what I now have is I have one large cardboard heart and two coloured pieces that I drew around and cut out that fit that large heart on either side like that. Ooh, you can see what's going to happen now. We've got one smaller cardboard heart with some smaller pattern papers that we can see would fit around there. And a final smaller heart with some cut out collage papers that fit around here. So we've got 3 piles and there are 3 pieces in each, 1 cardboard piece and 2 pieces of coloured paper to match each of the hearts. So that is our structure all done. The cutting is complete. How are you guys getting on with your cutting? Has it been a mission? Would love to know. Let me know. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to stick on one side of all of our hearts. So what we're going to do now is grab out your glue. I'm going to use my glue stick. Felix is going to be using his wet glue, his PVA glue, and he's got a little homemade spreader. So any glue that you've got now is the glue that you're going to grab out, and we've got a fun little sticking job to do. So what you're going to do is you are going to, so if I use this one first as an example, your large cardboard heart like this, you're going to glue one side of the cardboard and stick on one piece of your coloured side, and then you're going to leave it like that. Okay. Mummy cutting. Oh, well done, Mrs. Harrison, who's cutting for all of her children, all of those hearts. Her arm will be well exercised. So I'm going to cover this one side of my cardboard heart in glue, which is quite fun to do. Like this. I think I can use yellow actually. I'm going to do that now. Stick my yellow or whatever colour paper you've cut out over the top so it's nice and flush. So you have got coloured paper on one side and blank on the other, and you're just going to leave that with the other piece underneath so that is exposed. Just going to leave this piece underneath, one piece is stuck on, and leave that like that. You do the same for your other pieces of card. So you're just gluing on one piece. So put glue all over your smaller heart now on one side. And you're going to stick your collage piece on like this. And you're going to leave the other piece underneath. So you're just going to leave blank side now. I'm going to do the same with your other piece. You're putting glue all over the cardboard on one side and covering just one side of each of your hearts with your pattern papers now. Covering just one side of your hearts with your pattern papers. Okay. Fabulous. So now you have 3 hearts that are covered on one side with your pattern papers, and you've got your 3 spare pieces, one for each heart, that you're going to put to one side. We're going to put those to one side. And now what you're going to do is going to get your large heart and lay it open at the top like this on your table, and your smaller one and your pattern papers that are stuck, they're facing down. So they're facing down like this. Now you can grab your string because you're going to do some measuring. So you're going to grab your string or your thread, okay, and you're going to measure the length of your hearts as you've laid them out. So on the table, you're going to lay your big one at the top with the coloured side down. You're going to lay your 2 smaller ones underneath with the coloured sides that you've just glued on stuck down. And you're going to leave a little gap in between the hearts like this. So you've got 3 cardboard hearts and the cardboard side's facing up, and they're each covered with paper on the other side. Now you're going to get your string, you're going to measure it down your hearts like this, and you're going to snip at the bottom. And now what you're going to do, so you've got a bit of string that is longer, just a bit longer on each end than all 3 of your hearts, and you've cut that down. So I've got my string here, and I am going to tie a knot in the top. Now, if you're doing this alone and you can't tie knots, do not worry. You can leave this stage out, but if you're doing this with parents and families, they can help you. So what I'm going to do now is I've got my loop like this, and I've just pinched a loop at the top, and I'm going to just go round. So I create like a big loop at the top with a knot in it, like this. Okay, so I've got a loop at the top now. I'm going to lay that down, and then that will fit all the way down like that. It's perfect. And you could do the same at the bottom too. So I'm going to do a loop at the bottom as well. Which is good. So I've got a loop at the top and a loop at the bottom. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to have fun gluing all of my cardboard pieces and just leave them all gluey for a moment. So every one of my cardboard pieces that's facing up, I'm going to cover with glue like this. Oh, no, my glue stick's starting to run out, guys, which is terrible timing. Absolutely terrible timing. I'm going to have to get a new one. It's my favourite one as well. It's never let me down, but time is running out, isn't it? What a day. The internet's crashing. The glue stick's running out. Okay. So you've got gluey pieces now on each 3 of these. They've got coloured paper on the underneath, and they are just gluey on top. Now what you're going to do is you're going to get your string. You're going to lay it across all 3 of your hearts like this. And you are going to grab your tape. Any tape. This could be sellotape, gaffer tape, masking tape, sticky tape, parcel tape, any bit of tape. You're going to tear a little bit of tape like this. You're going to stick it over the top of the string on each of your hearts. 1, 2. Okay. And 3. Well done. I mean, this is tricky sticky. And now you might be able to guess what we're going to do now. We're going to be taking our 3 paper pieces. So we've got the smaller pieces. I might mix these up actually. I might mix a paper bit on the bottom like that. Okay. I'm going to stick that on the bottom like that. I'm going to do a one on here. Okay, and now I've got my pink one for the top, which is going to go up here, And my little hanger is just going to poke out the top like that. It's pretty cool. So now you have got your structure for your What's Love Got to Do With It hanger ready to go. So can you see I've got 1, 2, 3 hearts, and they're all hanging with this loop at the top. Now they're all double-sided, my hearts now, all double-sided. And they spin a little bit as well, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited to know what your heart hangers are looking like now, guys. But they're pretty awesome. So I've got my 3 hearts ready to go. Can we slow down, Felix? How are you getting on? Are you still cutting? Okay, I'm going to grab. Let's see. It's a trickier one, this one, isn't it? It involves a lot of cutting. So I'm hoping that you guys are doing all right over there. I'm going to grab my bits now, which is, So now, oh, you're still putting the string on. That's okay. That's okay, Felix. Don't worry. So with the string, for anybody who's just still doing that bit, I'll just run over it again now so that you can see what we did. So underneath each of these hearts, so these were all blank, like this one is at the top. We glued them all. We laid down some string. Don't worry about the knots on either end. Leave those knots off if they're causing a bit of havoc. So you're going to lay down the string like this on top of the glued cardboard pieces. And you are going to just put a bit of tape over the string on each piece here. And then you should have the glue exposed and the tape on there. And then you can just stick your pieces over the top. And as long as you've got a bit of excess string coming out the top of your heart at the top there, that's all you need, because you could tie that into a loop later on. Don't worry if your loop isn't hidden inside the heart. That's absolutely fine. So hopefully you'll be able to get to that stage and join us. I'm going to just move on to the very last bit, because this is something that I'm going to kind of like set you guys off with, but you can finish this after the session, or you could put it away and come back to it in a little bit. It's totally up to you. This is now the fun bit, really, of decorating your heart hanger. So at the top of your heart hanger, you want to either write the word love, L-O-V-E. I have typed mine using some letter stamps that I've got, and I'm just going to cut that out here. You could use felt tip pens. You could collage the word love however you want. And I'm going to put love at the top on mine like this. In fact, actually, Felix, you're doing this PVA glue. Yours will probably be even stronger than ours working with Pritt sticks. It's pretty great. So then your very top heart, you want to do the word love. You could use a bit of scrap paper and felt tip pen on that and then glue it on, whatever you want. I'm going to put the word love at the top of mine like this. And then what you're going to do for these bottom 2 ones here is you're going to decorate those with things that that love has been really good to you for during this time. So what ways have you shown love to other people during this time, or in what ways have people shown you love during this time? So I'm going to do a little letter, because I've been sending love letters to my family through the post. That's one way I've been like sharing love with people. So I'm going to do a little letter. I think I'll just use a bit of this scrap paper, and I'm just going to draw a quick picture of a letter here. And I'm going to cut that out. Oh, you're loving how to do a heart through symmetry. Fantastic. Well done. Well done, Leela. Awesome. So I've got a little letter here, which can go on the top like that. I'm going to glue that one on. So I could write the word post next to it. I think I will as well, actually. Oh, guys, I'm going to grab another glue stick. My glue stick has ran out. Let me see. Well done, guys. Today's a bit of a challenge, not just with the internet not being our friend, but also with having to do lots of cutting and sticking. So next week we are moving back to a more simpler task, but I thought we'd just try it out and see how it went with doing lots of cutting. I know it's been a bit of a challenge, so it'd be good to know your feedback. So I'm going to do this here. I might write the word post because that's one way that I've been showing and sharing my love through this time. Okay, so, and then on my bottom heart here, yeah, I think I am going to do, I might do a picture of my phone because we're doing loads of like video calls with people and that's how I've been sharing my love. So I might doodle a little picture of my phone. Fantastic. If I got a pink here, yeah. How are you getting on now, Felix? Is your string all on your heart? And Leela, do you need re-showing how to do the string on your heart, or have you managed to get to that bit? Oh, well done, Felix. Well done. Awesome. Felix has got the string on his heart. So once your string is on, you're now just decorating your 3 heart panels. You could put kind of like use the top one as a title to remind you that this is all about love and how we're showing love to our friends and family during this time and showing love to each other. So you could put the word love. You could just leave it blank because it's already a heart. And then we're just putting 2 things on each one of our panels at the bottom to show ways we're sharing love and showing love with each other during this time. So I have put the post on this one here. And then on this bottom one here, I am doing a mobile phone with a love heart. So we're doing lots of video conferences. Oh, fantastic. Amelia, that's really nice from the Harrisons. Meg should add you hashtag make with Meg to your heart because we're all feeling the love through sharing your Thursday sessions. Thanks, Mealy. That's really nice. Oh, brilliant. I feel like we've definitely got an art club of like repeat artists coming back to this session on a Thursday. Thank you, guys. So I've got my little phone on the bottom there, which I'm going to stick on the bottom using my new glue stick. Little, but you know, working. Fantastic. Well, guys, we're at 11. I'm going to go for 5 minutes over just because of all the technical difficulties we've had today. Hope that's okay with everybody. Obviously, dart off if you need to, but I just think it'd be nice for us to finish together. So now I have got my hanger like this, and I have got love at the top. Should I put the words love? On the second heart, I have done post because I've been sharing love through the post. And the bottom, I have got my mobile phone where I've been doing lots of video calls with friends and family on here. They're 2 ways I've been sharing love. And then after this session, I might even decorate the reverse of these heart panels with other things, because I'm sure there's lots of different ways. There's cups of tea, there's hugging with your friends and family, there is playing games. You can share love through games, all sorts of different ways. There's loads of different ways that we've been sharing love during this tricky time. So I'm just going to talk through for those of you who are just finishing off your little bits now. If anyone is stuck on the string bit, I'm just going to do a little recap just in case. I just worry this is a bit fiddly. But underneath my cardboard hearts, I got them laid in a row like this. A little bit of a space in between each of them. And they didn't have the backs of paper on. I put glue over the 3 cardboard hearts. I laid down the string and I got a bit of sticky tape and stuck that on top of each bit of string. And then I stuck the coloured paper backs onto the hearts. Oh, you've done the string. Fantastic, Leela. Well done. Well done, Leela and Shri, working as a team. Go team. Fantastic. So then when you've got your bits on like that, it's just ready for decorating. So all you're going to be doing is popping love at the top or leaving it blank because, I mean, it's a heart, so it says love already, doesn't it? And then you're going to be just decorating the final 2 with little pictures or illustrations that you can cut out from other bits of paper, colour on, cut out and stick on of things and ways in which we've been sharing and showing our love during this time. Because the answer to Tina Turner's song, What's Love Got to Do with It, is everything, Tina. Love has got everything to do with it. That's what it's got to do with it. Everything. So I'm going to leave you guys there, I think, because I think you guys could decorate your own little love hearts now. You could spend a little bit longer on this if you've got time in your busy lockdown schedules to do so. You could decorate both sides. So you could put 4 items on. You could maybe even put extra items at the top if you wanted to, in ways in which you've been showing love. And as always, I would absolutely love to see what you've been creating. So you don't need to send pictures of yourself if you don't want to see your face on the screen, but if you want me to see your pictures of what you've made, your amazing hangers, then do ask your adults to share them and use the hashtag #MakeWithMeg or send them to me on Instagram as a private message and let me know which pictures I can share and I can show those next week. Today's been a bit of a trickier session, so do let me know if it was too tricky. We are going on to something a lot easier next week. So if you do have a pen or paper, pen or pencil, a bit of paper now, I'm going to show you what we're going to be making next week and I'm going to show you the materials list. So next week, we are going to be making... Bye, Felix. Next week, we are going to be making invitations. And what you're going to be needing for this is paper or card, some pens, so maybe an envelope. This could be an old envelope or a new one. And what would be really good is if you have an empty jar, like a jam jar with a lid, maybe, and some string. So we're going to be making some really cool invitations to invite ourselves to some really cool events after lockdown is complete. So for next week, you're just going to need paper or card, pens, an envelope, and a jar and some string. So I'll run through this again at the start of next week's session. There'll be lots of time for you guys to find your materials. And as always, if you'd like to share with me your amazing hangers, I would love to see your What's Love Got to Do with It hangers. Thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely day. Bye.